Hello, Seahawk Nation, and welcome back to another edition of Seahawk Weekly with head coach Myles Russ, presented by Bud's Chicken and Seafood. I'm your host, Danny Solomon, the voice of the Seahawks, and as always, it is so nice to be here with you today. Coach, once again, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We got a lot of takeaways from this last game against Florida Memorial. What were your key takeaways from the matchup?
I think first we got the win. I was very excited and happy for the guys to get in the win. But like I talked to the guys before, we had a lot of things to clean up in every phase of the game. And, we talked yesterday about it. We had a really good meeting and just putting everything out there for the guys to see. But it's good for us. It's something that we've been working on this whole year in terms of just focusing on ourselves and realizing the things that we need to do better and making sure that they get addressed and we execute those things when we get the opportunity.
I want to ask your personal coaching philosophy in this circumstance because this was the first time all year you guys had trailed.
Yeah.
You gave up the touchdown on the very first game or play of the game, and then in that circumstance, is it a situation where you're thinking to yourself, I need to get these guys focused, I need to say something to them, or are you the type of coach that says, I want to see how they respond after getting punched?
No, I want to see how they respond first, and then it wasn't to the standard that we wanted it to be, so that's when I have to, voice my opinion to the team, and I thought our coaches did a great job of finding different ways of how we can get those guys back on track. And I think that was really big for us, but that's part of our culture here at Kaiser. Just continue to be level-headed. Teams are going to make plays. It's going to be ways within each game that we just going to have to continue to fight through. So I thought our guys did a pretty good job doing so. But those things have to happen, and I just had to kind of get everybody together at a certain point. But one thing that we're focusing on, just making sure it doesn't snowball. We talk about a snowball effect. It can be positive or negative, and we sometimes we have to just stop the momentum when it's negative. So I thought we did a pretty good job of doing that at times, and then it's still a team game. So certain phases have to step up at certain times, and I thought we did so. And but then we had the positives that came along with it in every different phase of the game that we talked about. Offense did a great job scoring some points. Defense got a lot of different turnovers. That's something that we've been focusing on. And even special teams had some really big kickoff returns and punt returns as well. So that's what we're about. But now we have to be consistent enough to make sure it's for the entire game.
Yeah, you mentioned not letting it snowball, and that's exactly what happened. You gave up the first touchdown on the first play of the game, but then after that, let's say even the second half, you only gave up 7 points the entire second half. So the adjustments were made when the conversations were happening. Were you happy with the way the team adjusted, specifically on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I definitely was happy, but I know it's a lot more to be held upon us in terms of getting better. And that's what it's about. And I have full confidence of our program, our coaches, and our players to do so. But yes, I was pleased, but it can be a lot better. And I think I made sure I expressed that to the guys, not just the players but the coaches. But they have the same mindset, and that's one thing that I love about here at Kaiser University, not just with the football team, but with everything else. The alignment between, from the president to the AD to the different sports and to us at the football program, making sure that everything is aligned to where we need to be. And I think so. I think doing so, we're going to have an opportunity to continue to get better.
I mean, one thing that was firing on all cylinders was the offense. Yeah. You had Shea Spencer throw 4 touchdowns to 4 different receivers. I mean, the guy in the process set the program record for most career touchdown passes. How important is it to have that guy under center that you can rely on, that spreads the ball, gets everybody involved? He's almost like another coach out on the field.
It's just amazing to see how much he has grown within this program. And right when I got the job, I expressed to him I wanted him to be more than just a game manager, but a guy that's going to make a lot of plays for us. And he has done that and more. And then just him, like you said, being another coach out there is so big for us. And I love how he takes criticism as well. You know, the guy that does almost everything right. You know, I want to make sure he's able to take criticism when need to, and he does a great job doing that. And you know, he's just so mature, and it's just it's great for our younger players to watch. You know how it should be done, and he exemplifies that in every different part of his life, you know, football, on the field, and off the field. So I'm just blessed to be able to coach him and to be around him, part of this program, and I'm so excited to see how much he's going to grow some more as he continues to get older.
And one of the main reasons for his success has been the offensive line. We're going to talk to Tyler Carlson in a little bit, but I want your take on this because I'm going to ask Tyler the same thing. The old adage in football is the game is won and lost in the battle in the trenches.
Yes.
So the offensive line, the defensive line. Talk about how important the offensive line is to the success of the offense when you're talking about the run game, creating holes, and then the pass blocking for Spencer.
I think I talk about it every time we have an interview in terms of that's our core values of the team, stopping the run and running the football, and that's the trenches. And our offensive line, led by Coach Russ, has done a great job for us and really opened up a lot of holes and not giving up sacks. And I think that's really big for us. And I think within them, our tight ends, led by Coach Cordell Geck, have done a great job in the run game as well. And I think we do a really good job mixing it up from 11 personnel and 12 personnel and doing a lot of different run schemes that they're able to execute. And you can have different run schemes, but if you're not able to execute, it doesn't matter. So those guys do a really good job of making sure that we're the people that we need to, doing a really good job of the penetration that we're going to have, running the football, and that's what it's about. So I'm really excited to just see how much they can grow within the season, and they've been doing a really good job for us.
Yeah, you make a good point about the tight ends being the ones that set the edge for the runs on the outside. It's a very good point that gets overlooked a lot, so I'm glad you mentioned it. We're going to talk more a little bit with Coach Russ when we come back, and we'll discuss this upcoming matchup this weekend where the Seahawks will take on the Bobcats here at home on Saturday at 6 p.m. We'll be back right after this. At this time, Kaiser Athletics would like to thank our proud sponsors. Banyan Printing and Signs, Bud's Chicken and Seafood, Chick-fil-A, Delta Hotels by Marriott, Duffy's Sports Grill, ESPN 106.3 FM, FPL, The Hampton Inn, Jersey Mike's, Kona Ice, Lifetime Steel Buildings, McKebb's, the Palm Beach County Sports Commission, Palm Beach Juniors, Playa Bowls, and Rip Print. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Danny Solomon. He's Myles Russ, and you are watching Seahawk Weekly, presented by our friends over at Bud's Chicken and Seafood. So, Coach, now we're going to turn to this upcoming week. You've got St. Thomas coming to town. Last time we played them, it was what I consider to be an instant classic. Yeah. That game was exciting from beginning to end. We jumped out to the big lead at the beginning. Yeah. They came roaring back, but we were able to hold on. What is the mindset entering this matchup?
Knowing that we're playing a great team, but always ourselves. We've been really focused on, what happened this past week. It was enough to make sure that we make the right adjustments that we need to. It was a really big self-reflection. That's what I told the team on yesterday of all the things that we need to get better. Obviously, we're watching St. Thomas, and they're a really great team that we're going to be prepared for and got to be ready for. But in order to put ourselves in position, we have to take care of ourselves in this locker room. So we're going to continue to do that today as well in the practice and make the adjustments that we need to make from the past opponent that can transition to hopefully getting a win against St. Thomas.
It's going to be a tough matchup. This is a team coming in 4-1 overall. They're on a 3-game win streak. They knocked off a top 10 opponent already. Their last 2 games in conference play, they have been extraordinary.
Yeah.
And there's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
They've outscored their opponents 111-6.
Yeah.
So let's start on the defensive side of the ball. They've scored 111 points in their last 2 games. What's going to be the game plan to try and stop that offensive attack?
Just the fundamentals within every phase of the game, but specifically defense. We have to continue to try to tackle better. We have to stop the run as well, and we have a really pretty good game plan. And I'm very excited of how we're going to be able to try to execute that game plan, knowing it's going to be tough. Obviously, the stats that you just said with the different all the different points that they were able to make, and it's really good, man. I'm excited for these games. Like I said all the time, this conference gets us prepared for where we want to get to. They're playing these different teams. Obviously, Florida Memorial last week, that's so athletic, and St. Thomas, that's very similar, but they do a lot of different things offensively and defensively. So really excited just for another challenge that we have this week. But at the end of the day, it goes down to the details and the fundamentals of the game. And I'm excited for our every phase, but especially our defense, continue to try to execute those things.
Yeah, the defense is going to have a tough matchup, like we said, trying to stop that offense. But the offense on the same card, they've only given up 6 points their last 2 games of conference play. So what is the mindset on the offensive side of the ball to try and break through on that defense?
Continue to be balanced. We always going to lean on our offensive line. That's where it starts, and it's always good to have Shea Spencer running the show, and he does a great job of not just throwing the football, but getting guys in the right spots. Even in the run game, making sure that we have the right checks, and so I'm really excited for all those guys. When given the opportunity, those guys are going to have to make plays, and really excited to see how they execute those plays once we get to Saturday.
And Saturday is going to be a very, very important game here at home at 6 p.m. For all the fans coming to check out the game or to watch the game on the Urban Edge Network or ESPN listening on 106.3, what should they expect from this team?
Discipline, detail-oriented. We're going to play hard. We're going to play the right way. Defensively, we're going to be running to the football, tackling well offensively, balanced offense, and special teams-wise, hopefully we can make some big plays like we have been. So really excited for this test. Really look forward to seeing everybody out at the game, even for the pregame events that we have going on with our championship alley. So it's really a community-based team, and really excited to see the community come out.
And like we just said, if you can't be here in person, you can tune in on the Urban Edge Network. The game will kick off Saturday at 6 p.m. You could also listen on the radio on ESPN 106.3. Coach, thanks again for being here. We'll be back in just a moment with offensive lineman Tyler Carlson. Now joining me is going to be offensive lineman Tyler Carlson. Tyler, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So I'm really curious as to the situation of how you got into football, because you're somebody who came from being homeschooled and then you came to Kaiser University. So when did you actually start playing football?
I actually started playing football here in 2022. Yeah, it's kind of a long story. I met a trainer and he kind of encouraged me to once I just graduated high school, and long story short, knew a guy who knew a guy, and I ended up here at Kaiser.
Any particular reason why offensive line?
I'd probably have to go with my size. I would like to play quarterback, but maybe I don't have the right physique for that.
But I mean, your physique, it could be defensive line, it could be offensive line. Was there something about offensive line that made you want to be the protector instead of the guy who went to try and get the tackles?
I think that definitely had something to play into it. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, you're sitting here with a guy who's looking over your shoulder right now, and your quarterback, Shea Spencer.
Yeah.
So I understand the need or want to be the guy who protects him. So in a situation where you're on the offensive line, do you prefer running or pass blocking?
I'd probably have to go with run blocking. Like to be a little more physical,
Yeah. What is the difference in the mindset when it comes to the two?
I feel like with the pass blocking, I'm more worried about protecting the quarterback, but run blocking, it's more about kind of just messing up the guy in front of you. And that's kind of where the excitement of offensive line play comes from, in my opinion.
Just a battle of wills at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the old adage of the game is won and lost in the trenches.
Yeah.
So offensive, defensive lines, you guys have a lot of say in the game. You got quarterback Shea Spencer, like we talked about. He has success because you guys have success. Same thing with the ground game. The reason why we have a great ground game is because of the offensive line creating these holes. Yes, we've had great running backs, but the offensive line is the ones that set the tone. So when it comes to being a part of that offensive line, how do you feel this team's offensive line compares to previous teams?
This year we have a very young group. We had 2 freshmen that have been rotated and starting. I think really with the offensive line we've had for the past couple of years, we've been consistently like a very tight-knit group. And I think that the bond that we have with each other, we have complete trust in this room. And I think that each year that I've been here, that trust has grown more and more. So I'd say just the trust factor we have for each other has grown much more this year.
I mean, you have to be able to trust each other, especially when you're trying to make these deep runs into the postseason. Like you've been here every single year that we've had these deep runs. Yeah. What does this team have to do to be able to make that type of run?
I think we just need to stay consistent. I mean, Coach Woods is on us every day, just keeping us, again, consistent with every day is a new day, want to know each week. And, I think, again, just the trust and trust the process of into the late season. People get banged up, but it's just you got to go to treatment. You got to stay healthy. Just keep practicing, watching film, and I think that's what will help us continue to go further again.
I mean, you got a tough matchup this week. You got a St. Thomas team coming in. Obviously, we played very tight last year. It was, for my money, an instant classic, 31-27 final in St. Thomas. And this time they come here, and you're facing them after they just put up 111 points in their last 2 games to begin conference play for them. So, and they only gave up 6 points against their last 2 conference opponents. So, what is going to be the offensive mindset? What should fans be able to expect coming to the game on Saturday?
I mean, you know how it is when we play St. Thomas. I mean, it's just another week for us. I don't see those stats as anything that should deter us or make us nervous in any way. So, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how we are. It's just another week. So you can expect us to just keep playing the same football we've been playing all year.
And you can check out all the action this Saturday at 6 p.m. as the Seahawks take on the Bobcats here at the Kaiser Multipurpose Field. If you can't be here in person, make sure you tune in to the Urban Edge Network, or you can listen in, as always, on ESPN 106.3. Tyler, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
For Tyler and Coach Russ, I'm Danny Solomon, the voice of the Seahawks, saying thank you for tuning in to this edition of Seahawk Weekly. Until next time, so long, Seahawk Nation.